Hello and welcome to the show. I am so excited to introduce my guests to you, Anna and Christina. They are known on Instagram to their 1.2 million followers as the Shuffle Mamas. They started shuffle dancing together in 2020. They've created courses for the people who wanted to learn. They've created a membership for the people who want to do it live with them. Who knew that you could create this bona fide business on Instagram by just starting to shuffle dance in your garage with your neighbor? Hello, Anna and Christina. Thank you so much for being here. Shuffle Mamas.
Hello.
Hi. So I have a lot of friends who follow you that I didn't know were following you till I found you and we started talking about you. And all of us talk about wanting to learn how to shuffle dance, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. It's so fun to chat with you today.
Yes, all the way from Kansas City. Okay, so let's dive in here. You have 1.2 million followers on Instagram, and one of your videos went viral to the tune of like 26, almost 27 million views. And we're going to go back to the beginning, though, and just talk about the starting of shuffle dancing and how this even became a thing on your Instagram account. So let's just first start with how the two of you met.
We are neighbors.
Yes.
We met, so we're neighbors. We knew who each other were, but we weren't friends until we started shuffle dancing together.
Yeah.
So in 2020, we were doing outdoor socially distanced workouts as a neighborhood. And we would meet on one block corner and do our lunges and like run up the hill and do our squats, all that kind of thing. And after one of the workouts, Christina came up to me and said, "I'm looking for someone to learn to shuffle dance with me. Will you learn?" And I had no idea what shuffle dancing was. I actually thought it was like ballroom dancing.
Why would I ask her to do?
But I was like, sure. We're all like outdoors doing things. Sure. So that was kind of how everything began, our shuffle dancing and our friendship.
Well, Christina, what about shuffle dancing had you heard or seen at that point, and why shuffle dancing of all things?
Okay, so 2020, when everything's locked down, so everyone's scrolling,
Yes.
the doom scroll for hours and hours. And I happened to be on YouTube and just came upon these videos of this style of dance, and I was bewitched. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I've always wanted to dance other than going to the club, but I always wanted to take dance classes or learn how to dance. And I thought it was so cool. So I asked my son, who now dances with us too, but at the time I was like, would you learn this with me? And he was like, no. I was like, I need to find someone.
Yeah.
So Anna was the
Lucky
first person.
for me, he said no.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
So I was like, Anna, try it.
when you guys start doing this, I mean, you're not filming yourselves, you're just trying something new. And how hard is it to learn? I mean, I look at it and I think, oh, there's just some of those things I just don't know that I could do. But how hard is it to learn? And did you just start learning with YouTube videos?
Oh, first off, because I've been in the content creation world for many years. I've recorded from day one.
Oh, good for
I was
you.
like, we're gonna see our progress, So,
And we didn't know what we looked like.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Like, it sort of feels like we're galloping here. I have no idea what it looks like. So we would record ourselves even just to watch it back and see, are we even close?
right.
And was your intention to start posting, or was it just like,
No.
let's just see? Okay. So you're
Let's
just getting
just see.
content for the sake of working on your craft, so to speak. Okay. So now you get started with it, and are both of you like super coordinated or not? Because some people be like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that.
I feel like I'm pretty coordinated.
I'm not as much. I was not a huge sports person and certainly had never danced before. I always joke because she would go to the club, so she has like that in her pocket. I did marching band, so that doesn't really help me.
That doesn't really equate, does it?
Doesn't really translate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then how many kids do you have between you?
6 total, 3 and 3.
3 and 3. Okay. So how and what are their ages?
14, 10, and 11 months.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yes.
And mine are 13, 11, and 9.
Okay. So you have, and in fact, we're working around your baby's sleep schedule right now, I think, right?
Yes.
But through teething, we're working out when we could get this recorded. So I know you're busy moms. So when do your kids, I've seen some of the videos of your kids participating or just kind of walking by in the garage as you're doing this. And what are their thoughts on it? I mean, do they just think, okay, mom, I know one of them you had said likes to participate, but how many of them are even interested in learning, and what has it been like for them to see this happening?
I've been able to coax a couple of my boys to jump in. One is like hard no, hard no. So I'm still waiting on him. But it's been fun to get my youngest dancing, and he has a real proficiency in it. I'm like, he is like so good. So I hope he jumps in more. But it's been a great connecting point for us to learn something together and to record it and watch back and laugh. And so we've really enjoyed it. But I feel like we're just getting started in my house.
Yeah. My two oldest love to dance. So after I think me and Anna danced in my garage for like 2 to 3 years, they were like, hey, maybe I should try this too. So they jumped on and they're really great. Like they learn so fast. I think if they actually tried, they would outdance us like in like 3 months. Like that's how good they are at it.
Yeah. And kids are just right. They can just get that so quickly.
They do.
Yeah.
You've been at it for 5.5 years. So you learn now. So you did learn from YouTube videos, or how did you learn and teach yourselves, along the way, just getting started even?
Yeah, we kind of had a very tedious route. Like we would screen record other shufflers and then pull it through, like, hit pause and pull it through super slowly. So we're like, oh, they're kicking their right foot. Okay, now they're landing their left foot. And we just try it. It was so tedious and took so long. That was part of what inspired us after a while to go, let's make a course that is something we wish we had available to us when we started. And that kind of started the ball on all that.
Well, that's what the part that I wanted to get to too. So, well, let's take a break and we'll get to the business side of things, because people would think shuffle dancing, how does that become a business? But that's just the way that the world is these days. So good for you for figuring that part out. So let's take a break. We'll be back with Anna and Christina in just a moment. We're here. You're here from Kansas City. I'm talking with Anna and Christina. You're the Shuffle Mamas, 1.2 million followers on Instagram, and started a shuffle dance trend that is really unmatched. So we were talking about how you started right away. Christina, you were recording, you've been creating content. So you start recording, and we're going to see these videos throughout the episode of the beginnings and where you've ended up in terms of your skill and your following and all of the things. So when we talk about, there's so many ways that people can make money digitally, and you'd think, okay, shuffle dancing, how does anyone make a living at that? But you were inspired to do that for others because of the tedious way you were having to learn by slowing down videos, and there wasn't a course out there when you started in 2020. So tell me how you make that shift, and was it seeing other people in a digital space take one thing and create this way of not just earning a living, but teaching what you know?
One of the most common threads of feedback that we had gotten over the years before we created the course was, how do I do this? Teach me. Can I do it? How did you get started? Please, more tutorials, this, that, and the other. So we've been getting so much feedback that my husband was like, you guys had better make a course this year. Just do it. We kept putting it off, busy moms, life transitions, all of this stuff that it was kind of on the back burner. And finally, it was like 2023, the end of mid 2023, we were like, all right, let's just do it. That's what we're going to put all of our efforts into.
Yeah, we have really honestly followed the lead of our audience every step of the way. Everything we've created, everything we've sold, all the business aspects has been in response to what people have asked us for. So the beginning, it was, how do I do this? And we created our Intro to Shuffling course. After a while, Christina was pregnant. We're still shuffling all the way through her pregnancy and postpartum. And we switched to a low impact shuffling style. And so then we were getting all the requests of, how do I do this? I bet I could actually do that style with the way my joints are. So we created a low impact shuffle course. So everything that we've done has been in response to, oh, what about this? We would love to get in on the fun if you created this. And so we go to the drawing board and figured it out. More recently, we're starting an online community where women can dance together live over Zoom with us on a community platform. That's all been in response to, I love the courses, but I need accountability. So everything we've taken the lead of our audience, which we've been so grateful for the women who have come alongside us.
And that's the way it works best, to just authentically start to build something. I've had a lot of people on the show who just started running or started whatever it is, started crafting something, started videoing the sewing they do or whatever it is. And then it is the request. There's a lot of times especially in what I do, like I think, oh, I'm going to create this and it's going to help people. And then it's crickets. And then the more you listen to what they're asking for, then you're responding to the need or in your case, the requests, the like direct requests that you're getting. So it takes so much guesswork out of it. And then you start to build like you have a mini empire over there, and who would have thought that you're earning money and now you've built a community because membership's where it's at, right? I mean, if we're talking about if we have our business hats on, that's residual every single month. Right. People are paying to be members and you can, as long as you're delivering, you can pretty much count on that money. It might fluctuate a little bit, but I mean, did you even imagine that this would be what you're doing? I mean, it's amazing.
Oh my goodness. Like we're actually have a video coming out on Saturday that's just talking about the power of one single yes. Anna just saying yes to even trying to learn with me and how that's really over the last 5.5 years has completely changed our lives. Like you're saying, even in business, we never thought, I mean, even dancing, like I was just at the club dancing and she was doing marching band, like we're actually come from very different backgrounds. And what's really cool about it is that dancing has actually brought us together in friendship, whereas I don't think we would have become friends in any other context. So we've gotten so much more than just
part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the neighborhood part of it. I grew up in a neighborhood where we had backyard barbecues and, the kids played outside until dark. We had to be in the range of one neighbor's whistle, to come back in. And I met my husband, he's my late husband now, but I was 8 years old when I met him. He was my neighbor. And if my parents hadn't been social and hadn't, reached out to their neighbors, and my son grew up picking up wiffle ball games. We had a corner house, growing up, and we'd have neighbor night on Friday nights, and we still are in touch with and connected to those neighbors. We live in different neighborhoods now, and our kids are grown, and my son just bought his own house 4 doors down from his best friend. So the neighborhood connection and the community that can happen that we don't pay attention to right on our own street and on our own block. And the world, I think, gets smaller and bigger when we start to connect with the people who have something in common with us. And that is just even our zip code or, the street we live on. And, I just think that it's valuable. And who knew it would be this valuable? Really, but the part that goes into that. And just what do your neighbors think? And do they stop by when you're out in the garage? And like, what is that like for you? I mean, you're neighborhood celebrities.
Oh no, wait. We have people who will drive by and roll down the window, "Whoa, go shuffle mamas," cheering us on from the street. A couple of them will run into the garage and do a quick move or two with us.
And there's some who drive by and are like, what? Like the slow, like, what are they doing? Or like usually the UPS driver is like, okay, have fun. Like drops off packages.
What are you doing in the garage?
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of love that comes through. And let's talk about how you deal with haters. I can't even believe that there are haters in this space, but there's haters in every space, it seems. And I saw a post you put up recently where you were just like flowers, and all this kind of making fun of the haters and what they said about you and your response to it, which is just perfection. But what do you say to the people who can't get behind two lovely women having a good time in their garage and making bank doing it by supporting the community that's asking for their support?
We kind of just think it's funny.
It's really funny. We've had a really good one.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that being in this business, it really, it makes me realize how thin my skin really is and how much I need to toughen up, and that it's just part of it, more eyes, more opinions. And so I'm so thankful for Anna. We have super supportive husbands who laugh alongside of us and help keep it light. And I think being in it together really actually helps alleviate a lot of the, I can't believe they said I was fat. I can't believe they told me to die. Like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of crazy. It's nice to have someone kind of offload and, help me out of it. Yeah, doing it together is huge.
We'll find one of us like gets taken under by it and the other one's like, oh no, it's like, forget them. forget them. We're going somewhere.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I would imagine that, I mean, I think, oh, you would just kind of let it roll off your back. But I mean, we do get our feelings hurt by things that are said to or about us. But I think anyone criticizing two people who are shuffle dancing and have created what you've created in your corner of the world. I always say your little corner of the world, and your corner is quite large with 1.2 million followers. And so one of the other things I wanted to talk about, and we'll go ahead and go to break before we do that, but I want to talk about like the business opportunity that comes besides the opportunities that you've created, because a lot of people go into trying to make it big on Instagram, get to a certain number of followers, and then they start to get brand deals and that sort of thing. And you came through it so authentically without any of that intention. And I think that's when it works the best. So let's take a break and we'll come back. We'll talk about that part of the business too. Back in just a moment. We are finishing up with both Anna and Christina here from Kansas City talking with us today. Shuffle Mamas. I said it before, I'll say it again, 1.2 million followers. Courses to teach people like me how to do what you do, low impact and regular. I mean, just answering the call of the people who started following you. So you started 5.5 years ago. And how long, I want to talk about the progression of the growth. You've talked about the courses you've created and Anna saying yes to Christina saying, I want to learn how to shuffle dance in 2020, social distancing dancing. Let's talk about then at what different thresholds of followers, like how long did it take you to get to 10,000 followers, or where that mark is that makes people take notice of what you're doing in Instagram specifically in that space?
So the interesting thing is that we didn't move over to Instagram until 2024. So we were on TikTok for the first 4 years, and we grew pretty quickly. Within like the first couple posts, we were up to like 15,000, and progressively
on TikTok?
went up on TikTok.
Okay, at the beginning. Okay.
Yeah, at the beginning. And we did really well on TikTok in terms of growth up into a certain point. And I think it was right around when there was like, murmurs of like the TikTok ban that I was like, Anna, we've got to get on Instagram. And we jumped on and literally blew up and gained like 500,000 followers in like 6 months.
That's where we found our people. That's where we found our community.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's where our people are, middle-aged moms who are, looking for connection, looking for activity, looking to just have fun. Those are the people we found, and we found them on Instagram.
Yeah.
So if you started 5.5 years ago, when did you put out your first course?
At the very December 2023.
Okay, so you did it for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you were still on TikTok when you did that, and you noticed an increase in business revenue when you moved over to Instagram, obviously just even having more followers. Yeah. So you weren't selling as many courses on TikTok, even like per range of per followers?
Technically, we only sold on TikTok for like a week.
Oh, and
then just went right over to Instagram, and then Instagram blew up, and it was like, and then honestly, the landscape of TikTok changed to where selling your own stuff on TikTok was very hard. It's not the place for that. So Instagram really opened up.
Okay. So then you've built the course, and then you build the next course because people were, you built the low impact version, during pregnancy. Or after pregnancy. So then at what point do brands start to reach out to you? And, at what threshold of followers? I mean, you jumped really quickly, so you weren't kind of hanging at 10,000 followers for a while and then gradually moving up. So what does it look like when brands reach out to you? And obviously that wasn't the goal because it wasn't even your intention to build a business on Instagram. But for a lot of people, it is.
Yeah, brands were reaching out pretty early, even when we were just on TikTok. It just kind of depends on the deals that they're offering. So at first it's like, let me send you a free product and have you do a video for it. And so it just kind of, it scales in terms of what you can receive in return for the deals that you do. But from early on through now, we get brand deal requests every day in our inbox.
Wow.
Every day. Most of it is not things that we would do. And some of it honestly is just, like I said before, we have done everything we've done in response to our audience. So our number one focus is honoring our audience and respecting them And so if it's not something that we would use or do anyway, then we're just not interested. And we want to be careful not to overrun our audience with too many brand deals, because that's just kind of how our culture is online. And honestly, we bet on our products more than someone else's. We just kind of believe that we're offering something that people are looking for when they're coming through the different Shuffle Mamas social media.
There's a man I follow on Instagram. I discovered him about a month and a half ago, and his name on Instagram is Blake of Today. And he is the most fascinating, just the most beautiful storyteller I've come across in a very long time. And I don't know if you all watched The Wonder Years. I'm dating myself now, but there was just this narration show, and he does such a good job. And the other day he had a Mazda ad, and he did a beautiful job of doing the ad because he's telling a story about putting his family in a safe car and getting his kids out to school on time and all of that. And there were some people in there saying, oh, less ads, more storytelling. It's like the guy is making a living, and you get to listen to his stories, and maybe 5% is an ad. And that's really okay, right? So I can see why you'd be selective, because you do want to honor that audience, but at the same time, good for you ladies, figuring out a way to earn a living doing what you love. Isn't that the goal? And to still love it. If you can figure out how to get paid to do what you love and still love what you're doing, you've done that.
Yes, absolutely.
You've done that. Okay, so last thing I want to say, people who are watching, we have about 1 minute left. The people who think they can't shuffle dance, what do you say to them? Of course, get your course, but what do you say to the people who are thinking, I don't know if I could do that, when they watch these videos throughout this episode?
You can absolutely do it.
You can do it. Do it for the fun, do it for the joy. You have to set comparison aside and say, am I going to start this and be like that person I saw on Instagram next week? It's about going at your own pace and your aim being joy. When your aim is joy, it's fun every step of the learning process.
Absolutely. And honestly, there's going to be a process. That's why it's been 5.5 years. And it was the first couple of years was the slowly, tediously scrolling through videos. It took we took 3 months on 2 moves. So I think lowering expectations for perfection immediately. Know that it's going to take consistency over time. And like she said, enjoy the process. There's so much joy in it.
Well, I enjoyed talking with both of you, and I just have such respect for what you've created and the friendship you've built and all the things that you're doing with your business. What you're doing is the dream for a lot of people. So keep up the good work, and I'm going to gather my friends and have we'll do your membership or whatever it is to learn from you in a group setting, so we have accountability and have fun at the same time. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.